Imagine getting a phone call from your wife of 15 years, while you're 6,000 miles away on a business trip. She laughs as she tells you she's divorcing you. She's already sold your beloved beach house, and she's starting over with her personal trainer. But what she doesn't know is that you've been one step ahead all along, and her scheme is about to crumble in the most satisfying way possible. If you've ever felt the sting of betrayal, and dreamed of that perfect moment of justice, hit that like button right now. Subscribe for more epic revenge tales. And buckle up, because this story will have you cheering for the underdog, who fights back with ice-cold precision. My name is George Whitaker, and at 52, I'd built a life that looked perfect from the outside. For 23 years, I'd been a commercial property negotiator out of Jacksonville, Florida, specializing in spotting hidden values in contracts that others glossed over. Patience, precision, an unblinking eye for detail, that's what made my career thrive. But when it came to my marriage, I hadn't applied the same scrutiny until it was almost too late. That phone call on a Thursday morning changed everything. I was in Brussels, 4 days into a trip, finalizing a warehouse acquisition for an American shipping company. The hotel room overlooked the city skyline, grey and bustling under a drizzling rain. My phone buzzed, and it was Vanessa. Her voice came through laced with a cruel confidence. "I'm divorcing you, and I've already sold our beach house to start over with my trainer." She actually laughed, like it was some joke she'd been dying to share. My heart pounded in my chest, a dull ache spreading like ice water through my veins. But I kept my voice steady, replying, "I understand. Kyle and I need a fresh start," she continued, her tone dripping with that smug assurance I'd heard in divorce horror stories from colleagues. The beach house sold for a nice price. I've already signed the papers. Kyle Bennett, her personal trainer for the past 18 months. He was 35, drove a flashy car he couldn't afford, and once had the nerve to ask me how much my watch cost, right to my face. No shame. I didn't slam the desk or shout. Instead, I calmly asked, "When did you close the sale?" "Yesterday," she said, sounding almost disappointed by my composure. "Buyers moving in next week. I figured you wouldn't mind staying at the Marriott when you get back, since you're always on the road anyway." After we hung up, I sat there for nearly an hour, staring at the Brussels skyline. Rain pattered against the window, blurring the view of business people hurrying below, umbrellas popping open like shields against the storm. 15 years together, and Vanessa didn't know me at all. She thought I was predictable, passive, the kind of man who'd roll over and accept her decisions. But she'd overlooked one critical detail. You don't spend decades in property negotiation without learning to protect your assets, and you don't leave your livelihood to chance, especially when your instincts have been whispering for months that something's off at home. I pulled out my laptop, opened my email, and wrote to 2 people, Monica Harrison, my title agent for the past decade, and Brian Eldridge, my attorney since before I'd even met Vanessa. Subject line, urgent fraudulent property sale attempt. As the rain fell harder outside, I felt a strange calm settle in, not rage, but clarity. I met Vanessa Sanders 16 years ago at a real estate conference in Orlando. She was sharp-suited, ambitious, working for a luxury property management company. Her confidence drew me in, her quick mind impressed me. Within a year, we married at the courthouse, just her sister and my brother as witnesses. 3 years later, we bought the beach house on Amelia Island, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a wraparound deck with unobstructed ocean views. It cost $1.2 million, nearly all my savings plus a mortgage. I'd spend weekends there, hands calloused from repairing weathered siding, upgrading the kitchen, replacing rotted deck boards. Vanessa decorated, hosted friends, raising her wine glass on our first night. "This is our forever place." I believed her. For a decade, we made it work. She quit her job to start an interior design business, giving her flexibility to join me on trips. I'd extend business days for weekend getaways in Paris, Barcelona, Tokyo. We were good together, or so I thought. The first cracks appeared 2 years ago. Small things at first. She stopped asking about my work, declined trips abroad. Her texts grew shorter, more perfunctory. "Have a good meeting. Safe travels. No more I miss you or can't wait until you're home." Then came the gym membership, 5 days a week with Kyle, a former college athlete turned trainer. I supported it initially, encouraged her fitness focus. But unexplained expenses crept in, dinners I wasn't part of, weekend spa retreats with friends I'd never met. I didn't confront her. No tracking apps, no investigators like my divorced colleague suggested. I observed, made mental notes, and quietly prepared for what felt inevitable. 11 months ago, I transferred the beach house into a living trust. The paperwork was buried in refinancing documents for our Tampa investment property. Vanessa signed without reading, too busy texting while my attorney waited. This protects us both, I told her. It wasn't a total lie. It would protect the property, just not how she assumed. I never mentioned it again. Watching as she grew distant, attached to her phone, dismissive of our future. After emailing from Brussels, I closed my laptop and pulled the property deed from my briefcase. A habit from early career days when a client tried backing out over discrepancies. The deed showed the house in the George Whitaker Living Trust, me as sole trustee. Vanessa had no legal right to sell it. The irony burned. She'd tease me about my paperwork obsession, saying life's too short for fine print, George, with a laugh. But fine print built my career, and now saved my home. I called Brian while walking through Grand Place. Brussels' historic square, cobblestones slick underfoot. She can't sell what she doesn't own, he confirmed. Any sale is fraudulent. Buyers have no claim, and Vanessa's attempt that's fraud. Potentially criminal. Though I assume that's not your preferred outcome. It wasn't. Despite the betrayal, I didn't want her in jail. But I couldn't let her take the house. Brian said he'd flag transfers with the county recorder and notify title companies. The sale won't go through, George. After hanging up, I found a small cafe, ordered coffee, sat for 2 hours watching tourists and locals pass by. The betrayal hit deeper than anger. It was the casual cruelty. Her laughter like my pain was amusing, our life meaningless. I texted my Brussels client about a family emergency, booked the first flight home. On the 9-hour flight, no movies or reports, just quiet reflection. I'd navigated complex deals for others. Now, I'd use those skills for myself. This wasn't revenge. It was justice, balance, setting things right. Signatures matter more than intentions. A lesson. Vanessa would learn. I didn't tell her I was coming early. Rented a car at Jacksonville Airport. Drove 40 minutes to Amelia Island in silence. Afternoon sun glinted off the ocean as I pulled into the driveway. A black Mercedes convertible, Kyle's, I presumed, sat in my spot. Front door unlocked. Laughter from the kitchen. Vanessa and a male voice discussing renovations. The wall between living room and dining should come down first. Open concept is everything in beach properties. I set my suitcase down quietly, walked in. Vanessa leaned against the island in a sundress I'd never seen, champagne in hand. Kyle behind her, arm around her waist, pointing at a tablet. They looked up. Her smile faltered, then recovered. George, I didn't expect you back until Monday. Clearly, I replied, glancing at Kyle, who removed his arm. This is awkward, Kyle said with a nervous laugh. I should probably go. Actually, I'd prefer if you stayed. This concerns you too. Vanessa's expression hardened. We don't need to make this difficult, George. I've been unhappy for a long time. We both deserve a fresh start. I agree completely. Which is why I've spoken to my attorney about the fraudulent property sale you attempted. Color drained from her face. What are you talking about? I placed my briefcase on the counter. Retrieved trust documents and deed. The beach house isn't yours to sell. Vanessa. It hasn't been for almost a year. Carl looked confused. You said the sale was final. It was, she insisted, but uncertainty crept in. Check the deed. It's in the George Whitaker Living Trust. You signed the transfer last May. Those refinancing documents. You didn't read. She snatched the papers, scanning frantically. This isn't possible. Not only possible, legally binding. The sale is null and void. Buyer notified. Kyle deflated. I'll wait in the car. He exited quickly. Alone, Vanessa's shock turned to rage. You tricked me. No, I protected my assets, standard in my profession. You chose not to read. That's negligence. She softened. George, be reasonable. We can split the proceeds. No need for lawyers. Except there are lawyers. Buyers are upset about buying from someone who doesn't own it. Considering options. You wouldn't. I'm not doing anything. Enforcing legal ownership. What happens next depends on you. Her face hardened. I'm calling my sister's lawyer. You won't get away with this. You should consult an attorney. I'll stay at the Hilton tonight, give you space. But this house isn't selling, and I'll move back Monday. As I left, she called, "This isn't over, George." I glanced back. Actually, Vanessa, I think it is. Sunday morning, I met Brian at his quiet office. He looked tired but determined, spreading documents. There's more. Investigator dug in. Folder, bank statements, credit card receipts, property records. Vanessa opened a separate account last year. Transferred $170,000 from joint savings. That hit like a blow. Our emergency fund. Also, preliminary paperwork for a Savannah retail space lease in her and Kyle's names. Fitness boutique, signed 3 months ago. This wasn't impulsive. Calculated, planned for months. And the buyer. A shell company owned by Kyle's brother, Jason Bennett. Trying to get the house below market, flip it after forcing negotiation. Pieces clicked with sickening clarity. Not just leaving for another man. A financial scheme to extract value before discarding me. Something shifted. Calm turned colder, focused. This was about accountability. What are my options? Legally strong. Trust protects house. Freeze accounts. Money taken trickier. Florida equitable distribution. She could argue her share. But fraudulent sale? Leverage for criminal fraud. I don't want jail, but won't be a fool. Brian proposed settlement. She returns 60% funds, waives house claim. You waive her business. Clean break, no charges. If she refuses, pursue all remedies. As I left, Vanessa texted, "My lawyer says you're bluffing. House joint regardless of trust trick. See you in court." Brian shook head. Bad advice. Trust solid. Send offer, prepare for court. Rest of Sunday in hotel, reviewing records. Each discovery strengthened resolve. This was standing ground against theft of what I'd built. Monday, checked out, drove to courthouse. Brian filed divorce petition. Emergency motion preventing transfers. By 10 a.m., official, no sale possible. Visited bank, separated accounts. Secured assets with manager Thomas Parker, old client. Cancelled recurring $300 to Elite Fitness, Kyle's gym. Updated credit cards, HR benefits, insurance. Untangling 15 years. Phone buzzed. Vanessa, sister, unknown lawyer. Voicemail. 2 p.m. to beach house. Her car gone, Mercedes there. Entered. Kyle packing duffel in living room. He froze, just grabbing things. I watched silently. Look man, this wasn't personal. Vanessa said marriage over before me. Where is she? At sister's. Upset, said you're ruining her. Is that what she told? I'm the villain? He shrugged, avoiding eyes, said you were controlling. Trapped her while you traveled. And the business with my house money? My fault too. Eyes widened. Confirmation. That's what I thought. Tell her settlement at Brian's. 48 hours before contested divorce. Fraud charges. Fraud. Fear unmistakable. Attempting sale she doesn't own. Misappropriated funds. Take your pick. He grabbed bag, passed. One more. Buyer Jason your brother? Tell him withdraw offer by today or co-conspirator in fraud. His face confirmed. Within hour, Brian called. Jason rescinded offer. Evening, changed locks, new security cameras. Ordered seafood delivery from our old spot, 8 on deck. Waves rolled steadily. Tomorrow more maneuvers, but tonight, quiet satisfaction, standing ground. 3 weeks later, conference room with Vanessa. Her nervous lawyer shuffling papers. She hadn't spoken to me since kitchen. Meant as pretrial, but evidence overwhelming. Brian, before beginning. Submit these. Trust deed, bank records. Jason's affidavit admitting scheme. Her lawyer scanned, whispered. Face fell. We are prepared to settle. Terms. Return $100,000, relinquish house claims. George waives business. No charges. If I refuse? Vanessa asked. First words. Present to DA. Fraud over. $100,000 serious in Florida. Lawyer restrain her. Discuss privately. 17 minutes out. Returned. Eyes averted. We accept. I didn't gloat. Signed. Watched her familiar signature. From tax returns, cards, notes. It was over. And just when you think the story's wrapped up neatly, wait until you hear how life unfolded. 6 months later. A twist that proves karma doesn't miss a beat. 6 months on, I stood on the deck. Coffee in hand. Sunrise painting the Atlantic gold. House transformed. New kitchen. Durable siding. Hurricane windows. Practical changes. Symbolic too. Wiping old for new. Through friends. Heard Vanessa and Kyle open Savannah studio. Smaller scale. Struggling. No satisfaction in that. Just vague sadness for what might have been. Divorce finalized 3 months ago. Terms executed drama-free. Returned funds invested in Jacksonville office building. Steady tenants. Income. Phone rang. Monica, checking in. How's the beach house? Better every day. Thanks for trust help. That's friends. Actually, found another investment. Similar structure. Commercial. Protected. Income. Send details. Interested. Hung up. Watched ocean. Wave steady. Consistent. Comfort in unmanipulable order. House just wood, glass, concrete, but mine. Sometimes that's enough. The payoff wasn't dramatic confrontation, but quiet triumph, her scheme shattered by details she ignored. Shock on her face signing settlement, realizing underestimation cost everything. Relief washed over me, validation after betrayal's powerlessness. Justice served, cold and precise. Stories like this remind us that betrayal cuts deep, but standing your ground with patience and preparation can turn the tide. Karma isn't always flashy, but it's real, and sometimes, the best revenge is simply protecting what's yours and moving forward stronger. If this tale of calculated justice gave you that satisfying chill down your spine, smash that like button and drop in the comments. What's the most epic revenge you've ever seen or pulled off? Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more Reddit revenge stories that hit right in the feels. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.